Greeting interwebs, it's Jackie K, and welcome for another edition of Pokémon XG. I know we've had so many exciting adventures and have so many more exciting adventures to go, but there's a lot of time off screen where I want to play this game, but don't feel like recording, or I don't feel like commentating. So I have little non-commentated recording sessions like this, and I figure just condensing it all into a little video would be a good way to do so. Or should I say videos. This first one's just going to be of all the Pokespot grinding I've done between basically the entire month of December. Like ever since, everything from when we got the Pokespots unlocked to completing OBNS. These clips are labeled separately from the main video, so I don't remember exactly what parts they align closely to, but hopefully just saying where in the game I am in between all this. I wouldn't call it grinding, but grinding is the closest word I can think of. That should at least give you a general idea when all this is recorded. Anyways, this is pretty much the first Pokespot I did off... Oh. I forgot I never looked into that. And spoilers, I'm not going to be looking into it today, when I eventually get into the actual recording session either. As I was gonna say though, this one in particular is important to show off because 1, I believe this is our first Pokespot Pokemon. 2, this little Cubone here is pretty much gonna be MPV of all the intermission Pokespot grinding. It comes with False Swipe. It's a pretty decent level. I forget if it comes with all these amazing supportive moves, or I use the move teacher to teach it to them. But I use this Cubone a lot, exclusively off screen. So it's kind of like an unofficial party member in an alternate timeline or something. So I figured we should spotlight the process of catching it at the very least. So yeah. We'll be seeing this little buddy a lot in these sort of intermission videos. It's kind of going to be like with how Mount Battle was, where I just stick them in between the main playthrough and don't technically count them as official episodes. Unlike with Mount Battle, ideally these would be bonus episodes that don't really take into the normal time slots that I would upload a quote-unquote normal episode of XG. With Mount Battle, it was just unavoidable. I did a lot less editing in those than the main videos, but Mount Battle goes on for so long as is. I kind of like really needed the break, but I'm still not counting them as official episodes. That way if someone's looking back in the future, they could just skip the Mount Battles and important stuff that happens like all those Pokemon evolutions, I'll just explain at the beginning of the following episode. And maybe use a few clips from there as a little montage and all that. Bring all that up because there's a similar case here where this will basically be the more extended version of everything I've done off screen, but if there's something important, I'll try to bring it up in an episode proper. Sorry, I got distracted by Bloom's tail. I never noticed it clipped that degree. Almost looks like a snake or something. Anyways, I will continue my thought, but we gotta find a special little name for our special little buddy. I might not even bother bringing him up in the main episode, and he'd just be like a little bonus friend for anyone who takes time to watch these videos to see. So, meet Swiper. He'll be false swiping a lot. As I was saying though, ideally, I'll upload these in addition to the main playthroughs, instead of cutting into the time of the main playthroughs. It kind of worked out with Mount Battle anyways, because you got 2 full videos a week when typically XG only gets uploaded once a week. It's kind of like a compromise between the best of both worlds of me taking a bit of a break, but you guys getting more to watch out of it. Anyways, I can't quite recall why I'm so convinced to leave this in. I think it's because it's a good example of a perfect tempo. in the Purification Chamber. I should really save the clip for the main playthrough, but just in case I don't get a chance, or more realistically, don't remember to plug it into a future episode, it's at least on video somewhere. Anyways, as I was stalling for time for the next Pokespot to come up, I decided just to get in a few random battles with NPCs. I wanted to leave this one in, because one, his team evolved, and it's kind of interesting to see like Wartortle and Pidgeotto this early on into the game. Not shocking because we're high enough level for them to evolve, but it still feels a little surreal to see mid-stage evolutions this early. Maybe it just doesn't feel like I've been playing a long time. But more specifically, something that will seem a little off to Gen 3 fans. He actually hit his own partners. Yeah, they changed the way Surf worked in the transition from Generation 3 to Generation 4, and I guess they implemented that into XG as well. I mean, there's all these other things from future gens they implemented into XG, so why not? Anyways, this has nothing to do with Pokemon XG itself, but it's kind of a tradition in my XD playthroughs in general to just check up on the Doctor and Chopin every now and then, and apparently I came here too early because I recall there being items, but this is the only, just the way paper stacks things, the only thing of note for now, but there's a bit of charm to Chopin and Dr. Kamiko if you never really bothered to see them beyond the one time the game really forces you to. Little elements of foreshadowing are sprinkled throughout the various intermissions as well, so for me personally, I find that alone enough reason to come back here a lot. There's a lot of things with Chopin and Dr. Kamiko that are surprisingly easy to miss. Might have even missed a couple of them already. That's just like how random and specific some of the triggers to actually get the Chopin stuff is. On a tangent of technically missable Easter eggs, this whole scene, I guess if you never interact with the Pokespots, there's a chance you never get this close up on Munchlax. It's not the first time we've seen these NPCs, they hang out around Gateon Port, but I really like this Easter egg in particular because you get 10 free Pokesnacks even if you didn't put down 10 Pokesnacks in the spot. So I forget if this is a one-time thing, but I enjoy it nevertheless because I always profit in snacks from it. No need to apologize, ma'am. You're helping me out more than you know, especially because this game seems really strict on, like, I guess it's just because it's naturally harder, even though I don't really feel the hardness of it yet. But I feel way more stingy with my money in this game. I guess it doesn't help that the RA games are already kind of stingy with their money, and then even a little bit of a difficulty boost kind of makes me want my money even more. And it doesn't help when the game, or when the XG I should say, throws new things like being able to frickin' buy rare candies for, like, how much it is? My screen preview actually is blurring out how much it actually is. One sec. 9,800 Pokecoins. So something I don't think I'll ever realistically buy, but it's really cool, is there. Anyways, what could possibly be next in our Pokesnack adventures? It's kinda hard to see from this angle because it's so flat, but apparently it's a Feebas. I'll admit, it's moments like these that kinda make me feel sad that I'm doing this off screen, because I'm kinda like, I know I had some real shock. I know I was very surprised by a lot of the stuff that actually showed up in the Pokespots, but I can't do everything on screen. I forgot that it's level 1. Wow. Okay, see, there's still time for genuine reactions, even in the post-commentary. It's a good thing I had a false swipe. Like, why? I know Feebas is kind of a joke, but this feels like taking the joke too far. How does evolution... You know what, I'm asking this hypothetically. If I actually care, I'll look up or ask on the Discord. But hypothetically, how does this thing even evolve? There's no... This is before they made an item specifically to evolve it, and it was only based on contest beauty, which you can see stuff for in the game, but there's no items to actually, like, there's no Pokeblocks or anything to raise that up a bit. And here I thought I would have plenty of time to cut it out. Anyways, I feel like this name's only fitting, especially with how much Paper Mario I've been messing around with lately. So, off to the PC with you, Slogo. So, what else lies for us in the great grand yonder of the Pokespots? Ponia. I don't know, I guess out of the 3 biomes, desert would be most fitting. I don't know, for me personally, I feel like Oasis and desert would both equally fit. But the problem is, neither of them really fit Ponia. But I guess if you want to let people have wild Ponias in the game, it's there. By the way, this is a new day, a new recording session, if you can tell from that sound. So this battle is just me false swiping until it gets into red HP, and I even get burned along the way, so it takes even longer to get his health down. So I figured none of us really need to sit through that battle. Just beat down the Pokemon, throw the Pokeball, Bazam Kazam or something like that. Let's see what else lies us in these funny shenanigan hijinks. Like trying to remember why this clip is here. I think this is just a case of me showing off just how valuable taking the time to catch Pokemon from Pokespots is, specifically for the Purification Chamber. Obviously the Pokemon are different from the wild spots here than in the vanilla XD. I don't even know if there is any of those Pokemon in this clip. I'm gonna leave it in because there might be something more to it that I'm just not thinking of at the moment. I need a little time to stall for our next Pokemon spawn anyways. So hey, wild Vulpix. I guess that's not going to be a Shadow Pokemon in the game anymore. Oh well, it's good to have the option to use it on your team if you're a real big Vulpix fan. And oh hey, it starts out with one of his Gen 4 abilities. That's pretty sweet. Almost too good of a thing for a wild Pokemon, like, that's kind of like something I would sprinkle in a Shadow Pokemon to make it even more special. But hey, I mean, it's an ability that Vulpix naturally gets, and it's probably the best thing to have on a Vulpix, so why not make it available when you can catch it? Psych. You probably thought I was actually cutting to when I caught the Pokemon. I guess it's only fair because I thought I was catching that Pokemon in that first Pokeball. But I mean, hey, not as bad as I thought. I thought for some reason this particular clip was so long because this Pokemon was a big pain in the butt to actually get to stay in the Pokeball. But I guess I just forgot that there was multiple Pokespot Pokemon in this particular clip. I guess it's also worth noting that just because I nickname a Pokemon doesn't mean that I'm actually going to be using an adventure. Just with a lot of these, especially from the Pokespots, if it looks semi-interesting, I just give it a random nickname on the off chance that I decide to use it later, because I've noticed ever since like modern Pokemon games, I kind of like change a lot in how I actually team build. Like in the past, I would pretty much have a team and stick with it throughout the entire adventure, but more and more as time goes on, I've noticed like I'm fluctuating between Pokemon a lot. Keeping them in and out is a good way to keep from avoiding over-leveling. Also, speaking of finding surprises along the way, hey there little Kabuto! Didn't expect to see you here. Seems like it's at least 1,000 years or so a little too late for you to just randomly show up in the wild, but hey, why complain? It's a free Kabuto. Well, free assuming that I can knock it down to a range to catch it without accidentally knocking it out. Not gonna lie, that mud shot was a little scary, but hey, it's fine. I think my general mindset with nicknames was, even if there's a 1% chance that I'll use it for even a tiny bit of screen time, even just for little intermissions like this, and not in the main adventure, that I should give it a nickname just in case. Because I'd like to have any Pokemon that's on screen have a nickname. So, let's give this Kabuto a nickname. Welcome aboard, Capsule. Hopefully you don't just sit around in the PC forever, and I can find a way to get you on screen for even a little bit. Anyways, while we're in the recording session that happened on the same date as all this stuff is going on, I did try out Pyrite Coliseum off screen. Of all the things I kind of regret not saving for a recording session, that was one of them. So I'm kind of conflicted of if I want to actually use that clip, use that recording and post-commentate over it, or just wait until I can go into the Coliseum for real with the main team. Because at least with the Coliseum, they rotate between teams, so I'm definitely going to go back to it a second time eventually and save that for a recording session. But it's just a matter if you all want to see the first attempt or the first set of battles in the Coliseum, even if I have to post-commentate over them. It has been a bit since I've done them, so I might not remember anything. We could probably use my chalky memory to my advantage to semi-recreate a blind experience. Oh hey Ziggy, I forgot that I brought you along for the ride. So yeah, even though there's a good chance that I've already made my decision and made the video by the time this goes up, I would like to hear your feedback if you're interested in me post-commentating that and uploading it, just on the off chance that I haven't done it already. Definitely looking for feedback on how to approach some of these intermission stuff as well, because there's a lot to this game. There's a lot that I wouldn't normally show on a playthrough anyways, so there's just a lot of things that I'm inclined to do off screen because there's a lot more opportunities or a lot more moments where I want to play this game than there are moments that I'm feeling up to recording or just able to put the time aside to record. So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of stuff like this in between episodes, regardless on if I do or don't share it with the internet afterwards. And Dugtrio's kind of being stubborn, but it is a fully evolved Pokemon, so what can you expect? I'm trying to catch it in a freaking Pokeball, because I'm cheap. So after wiping out way more Pokemon than I want a single wild Pokemon to do, I basically say screw it, just attack a Ziggy, it's probably not going to survive. And if it doesn't, that's fine, because I'm not going to be using it anyways. I've used a Diglett / Dugtrio in the Let's Go series a couple of times. Oh, slight minor oversight to how U-turn works, I guess. Hey, where's my advantage? Free XP for Slowgo. This battle is worthwhile after all. Or at least it should be. But I guess the game calcs who gets experience before playing the ending animation or something, because I go through all this and poor Slowgo never got the experience. I guess technically he never even saw the Pokemon before it ran off. So it logically would make sense for him to get experience, but he's out on the field. He is getting the experience of being in battle, even if there's no one to battle. Pokemon logic. And I guess there's a little minor downsides to implementing certain features that weren't made for the game yet. Anyways, this is probably the biggest surprise out of all the Pokespot grinding so far. A frickin' fully evolved Slowking. What level even is it? Is Swiper? Oh, it's higher level than frickin' Swiper. Oh. Good thing I have some of my main team members with me for some apparent reason. Not sure why I thought this would work. I guess I'm so used to newer Pokemon games. And I don't know if this is a thing, but it really feels like a thing where Pokemon are a lot harder to take out in newer games than they are in the old ones. Specifically, Legends Arceus is where it really felt like the most noticeable. So I'm not sure if there's something significantly different with the way attack and defense and all that's calculated in Legends Arceus, but it is something I have stuck in my head enough to throw me off. Wow, I'm almost out of Pokespots. So unless we get a Miracle Visit by Mushlax Lady, I think we're just about done with the Pokespot grinding. What will our last Pokemon... Oh, it's just Bellsprout. Kinda anticlimactic considering we just encountered a Slowking that I screwed up catching. Yeah, I'm not sure if I just didn't want to bother because I knew I wasn't going to use it, or if I legit thought that would have survived that Seed Bomb, but either way, in hindsight, I wish I tried a little harder to get that Slowking. What you gonna do? Even though we're almost at the end of Pokespot grinding for now, this is definitely not going to be the last time I do this sort of thing. And at that point, we'll have better moves, better Pokeball. Well, I mean, we have an Ultra Ball, but I'll actually be willing to use them at that point. It'll be a lot easier to catch this sort of stuff the later on in our adventure we get. Also, I kind of talked over it, but yeah, the whole Gen 4 thing, or I think it was I forget what generation was introduced, but eventually the fact that you couldn't put grass types to sleep with powder moves, or just have the powder moves work in general. Yeah, that's an XG, and it'll be good to note that as we go further on with our adventure. So that's about all I have for now. Again, on the off chance I don't already have it in the works, let me know if you'd like to see that first attempt of Pirate Coliseum, even though it'd be completely post-commentated. I can say one more thing to try to like make it sound more interesting than it is. I do not use any of my main party members for the first round or the first set of battles in Pirate Coliseum. Except for Talon Swift. Sorry Talon Swift. I forgot that you were still under leveled and I was trying to sneak in a little bit of experience to catch you up. I use a completely different team because I assumed that my original team would be over leveled, and that would be a good opportunity to like get Swiper some experience so he'd be able to catch wild Pokemon easier and stuff like that. If you remember how Mount Battle left, you can kind of imagine how well that mindset worked for me going into the battles. Hint, hint. Well, with all that food for thought, take care.